Hey, November 6th day, a little bit of psychohistory. I haven't done it for a while. Played some badminton this week. It wasn't too bad. The club seemed to appreciate me, and, I have to sometimes disagree with them or tease them a little bit for the insecurities, but that they have, and which makes them, not listen well and misinterpret things and make assumptions and all this stuff, but it was fun. Anyways, I think everything I'm eating now is from the local food bank. Salvation Army related, so religious. Often say a prayer before the soup kitchen. Look, I'm fine. I finally have had somebody give me a bottle opener so I can open this tonic water. It's 200 milliliters, very heavy bottle. Came from Italy, imported by an organization in Mississauga. I think it's possible it might have gone there first, and then Vancouver Island. So here's one of the ways I know we don't have a government governing in Canada is if that company didn't give us money to do this, then this is an example of proof that governing in government, either through religious or non-religious members that say a prayer, oh, we're helping these guys, and that aren't doing as well as us. But of course, they're not necessarily doing better. They just can sell the image that they are, but when you get to know them, their issues are very similar. It's just that there's let's say, more dishonesty about hiding it, and society finds it culturally acceptable at the time, so they're not homeless and deteriorating more like those that aren't trying to send a false image as much, right? So anyways, I'm grateful for this. I had an interview finally at the beginning of the week. The Canadian Blood Services. A lot of red flags, The email even getting to the point of having a phone conversation to do the pre-screening that somebody in a different province does, but that didn't have an 800 number and didn't have the ability or mandate or permission to do it on the internet. But the salary, they're paying 24, but they're also assuming when they mentioned the union that I would accept. And also their insurance company might not allow them to hire me because I don't have 2 out of the last 3 years of commercial driving experience, which means who they want to hire is unlikely to have the other skill sets that would be more beneficial. Let's say working with the public, understanding the scientific concepts behind what they're doing, safety on the road, a lot of communication skills, problem-solving skills, computer skills. So, it's possible that I'll get the second interview and then be offered a job. And then some of the things I'd ask is more about, before I accept it, is I'm not even going to mention a union yet. I'm just going to say, can you tell me what exactly the benefits are? Let's say dental and when they begin. And also, are you flexible, like I mentioned in the interview, in case I get hired as a volunteer firefighter with training on specific days? And if they can't, or they don't pay attention when I speak, in the interviews, and I can pretty much predict what's going to happen, I can say, well, this happened to me before, and they don't realize it's going to happen again because you can ask questions. Oh, that's a good question. I don't know the answer. They don't follow up because it's just about micromanaging a process that is inefficient. And I'm sure these organizations have large amounts of money going through them to purchase equipment and to train people to not really be as efficient as just having a better screening process to hire efficient employees. And, by the time we get income where I will want to be paid as a contractor because Canada Revenue Agency owes me money and they still steal money from me and they still avoid resolving the issue when I post online my challenge for them to do it. So, and the unions, even if it's just like $1 out of every 100 I make, I still would feel like my human rights are violated, like I'm being robbed every paycheck. So it can't be done like that. Now, if I tell them all this at the end, when they're like thinking I'd make a good domesticate and they offer me the job, is they're going to be mad at me, but they're mad at me for their own failures because of not asking the right questions. But even then, all they have to do is slight variations in how they hire me, which is not illegal, and they won't do it, and they'll be mad at me. So again, they'll be proving more of the HSD and things like that. Now, I'm super poor in the meantime. Like here, I have less than $2 a day for the next 11 days, okay? And for me, like some people would panic. And again, today, I'm showing them a video of a song that I have 300 views on, but that is a rewritten Kenny Rogers song, right? The one that talks about the real human condition, the real species that we are as a collective. Like I have the same DNA as you. I just, I have a different operating system, so I'm not participating in the same biosphere breakages that you are, but and she couldn't go more than a minute. It's because of reality. And again, in the same conversation, I'm saying people should be asking me how I can be so functional living in reality, and how I can train their kids who are going to have reality hit them in the face even more without being able to sell an image or your rose-colored glasses, they probably have a limit of how thick they can be before they fall off your face, right? So reality for a lot of your kids in most countries of the world, if not all, will be unavoidable. You can't, they'll be suffering from it. And at that point, the paradigm will have shifted that even the media will talk mostly about this. It'll be, apocalyptic a little bit. And this is during my lifetime, by the way. So definitely during your kids' and grandkids' lifetime. So it's weird you're not asking me how I'm coping and how I can teach these skills in dealing with reality in ways where I'm ahead of the curve in knowing what reality is and what's coming, and that I care about your kids so much. It's still pretty shameful of you to not realize that if this was a human colony we had on the planet as based by human standards of sentience and sapience is I still don't think there's anybody at COP26 that shouldn't have their kids taken from them based on the choices or the lack of choices they're making right now. So again, we are not a human colony, right? I had to work really hard for me to not have human role models and to develop the operating system that I have, which is described by behavior, not just theory, not just... I was telling this lady today, I was saying, it seems to have gotten down to zero because recently, although people I met in the last month or two really claim to be on the same page as me, I think just like